Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 5, Episode 18. So the other day I was talking with a client who was absolutely floored when she found out her former employee, someone she'd fired, was getting unemployment benefits. She was upset, feeling like the system was somehow cheating her. And that made me realize this is something a lot of leaders and managers just misunderstand. So let's talk about the truth around unemployment eligibility in California, because what you think you know might not be the whole story. Here's the big myth most people believe. If you're fired, you automatically get unemployment. If you quit, you don't. But California's Employment Development Department, the EDD, they don't look at it that simply. The reality is that it's not about what happened, it's about why it happened. And this is critical for you as a business owner to understand. Eligibility for unemployment doesn't hinge on whether someone was fired or quit. It hinges on the reason for the separation. Were they let go for what legally qualifies as misconduct? Did they quit for what legally counts as good cause? It's all about the nuance. The EDD investigates the circumstances, not just the fact that someone left or was let go. Now, what actually disqualifies an employee from unemployment? Well, misconduct under California law is a much higher bar than most employers realize. To deny benefits, the behavior has to be willful, substantial, and against reasonable employer expectations. Let me give you a practical example. Chronic tardiness might not count as misconduct, especially if you've been inconsistent about enforcing it. But theft or workplace violence probably would. Here's something really important to remember. Poor performance does not equal misconduct. Letting someone go because they're not a good fit or they're not meeting goals doesn't automatically mean they lose eligibility for unemployment. And on the quitting side, the EDD is going to get on board for benefits if a person quits for what they consider good cause. Now, this might include unsafe working conditions, harassment or discrimination, a significant or negative change in the job like reduced pay or hours, or in some cases, even a family emergency. The key is that the person has to prove that they tried to resolve the issue with you first. They can't just walk out the door and expect benefits. They need to show they made a reasonable effort to keep their job before deciding it was necessary to leave. So, why does this matter to you as an employer? Well, you might think firing someone for cause means they won't get unemployment, but not necessarily. Your documentation and communication is going to matter more than your intent and more than you think. And here's something important to understand. You can't opt out of someone being eligible. That's not your call to make. The EDD decides that. So what can you do as an employer? Well, keep clear records of warnings, policy violations, performance reviews, and any efforts that you made to support helping them improve. Submit a clear, concise, and factual separation response to the EDD when they ask for it. And be honest. Don't try to block unemployment if it's not justified, because it can come back to bite you, creating unnecessary legal risks and damaging your reputation. Now, for my first-time leaders out there, let me give you some practical advice. Document, document, document. Verbal warnings aren't enough. Write it down. Have the employee sign it. Keep a record. Without documentation, it's just your word against theirs, and the EDD tends to side with the employee in those cases. Be consistent. If one employee gets 3 strikes for tardiness, everyone should get 3 strikes. Inconsistency is a major red flag for the EDD, and it can completely undermine your case. Have clear policies. Your team can't follow rules they don't know exist. Make sure your employee handbook is clear, up to date, and that everyone has access to it. Don't react emotionally. We're all human, but making employment decisions when you're angry, well, that rarely ends well. Take a beat and follow your procedures. Hasty terminations often lead to unemployment claims that you just can't win. Respond to EDD notices promptly. Miss a deadline and you'll likely lose the claim, even if you had a great case. So set up systems to make sure that those notices don't fall through the cracks. Know when not to fight. Not every unemployment claim is worth contesting. Sometimes the smart business move is to just let it go, especially if the documentation isn't on your side or if fighting would cost you more in time and resources than it's really worth. And above all, don't assume you know how this works. Ask HR or a legal professional. The unemployment system is so complex and the rules change all the time. Getting expert advice can save you major headaches. And remember this, an unemployment claim doesn't mean you did something wrong as an employer. It doesn't mean you're a bad leader. Think of it as part of the system that helps people between jobs. Your job is to handle terminations ethically and transparently. Here's the real bottom line. The unemployment system is designed to protect workers who lose their jobs through no fault of their own. It's not designed to punish them for not being a superstar or for working for a company that had to downsize. So if you're running a small business, your best strategy isn't trying to avoid unemployment claims at all costs. It's building a culture and systems where expectations are clear, feedback is regular, documentation is thorough, and decisions are fair. In fact, that approach doesn't just help you with unemployment claims. It helps you build a stronger, more effective team in the first place. Isn't that what we all want? Remember, no one wants to spend their time battling unemployment claims. Your time is better spent growing your business. So get your processes in order, treat people fairly, and when a claim does come in that you need to contest, well, then you'll be ready. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.